Welcome, Star Citizens, to my channel where I try to provide some common sense, dash of opinion to this ever-expanding Star Citizen universe. I'm your host, Last Action Gamers. If you like the content that I provide, please like and subscribe as this helps grow this channel. Today I'd like to go over a recent exclusive interview WCCF Tech had with Star Citizen Studio Director Eric Davis. The interview focused on Star Citizen's development process, and I thought, being a developer myself, I'd explain some of the terminology used in this interview. I'll post the article in the descriptions below. Let's jump in. The first question to Eric was, does CIG use some form of Agile or Scrum development? And before I get into explaining what these terms are and how it relates to Star Citizen, I have to put my opinion hat on for a minute and say, this question is not formed correctly. Agile or Scrum? It's not either Scrum or Agile. Scrum is not the sole method of implementing Agile principles, but it is indeed Agile. Anyway, off my soapbox. Eric does answer the question and confirms that yes, Agile software management and Scrums are deeply embedded in the development process at CIG. Now, what is Agile software management in Scrum? I'm not 100% sure the details on how CIG implements this, but here is a 100-foot view of it. Usually it starts by breaking up the one big thing, in this case, Star Citizen, into things called epics. An example of an epic would be a ship. These epic stories become a part of what is known as the product backlog. A storyboard can be created that explains all what the ship is and what it can do, basically the requirements. Then the epic is broken up into even smaller bits of work. There might even be epics in epics, just depends on the complexity of the work. Then they have these development cycles called sprints. Sprints can be 1 to 4 weeks in length and basically the incremental product release cycle. This might not translate into, say, 3.3 release, as they will have several sprint cycles before the product release. The process of a sprint is basically this. You begin with a sprint planning meeting. Developers will sit in a room and go over the product backlog. Again, the product backlog is the broke up chunks of features and work that needs to be done. Each developer will assign themselves work from the product backlog that they think they can complete within the 1 to 4 week sprint cycle. Usually a sprint is 2 weeks, so think of the sprint from, say, Monday morning to Thursday of the following week. Once the developer selects the task, they will need to assign points to that task. The point system is basically the difficulty level of the task. The sprint point system uses the Fibonacci sequence, so 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, usually not higher than 5 or 8. The higher the number, the more difficult the task, and probably will require more resources than just the one developer to complete it. Now, while in a sprint cycle, the developers will meet, usually first thing in the morning, for a very quick meeting so each developer can quickly explain what they did the day before, what they plan to do today, and is there any obstacles that would prevent them from doing the work. These obstacles are called blockers. These daily meetings are what are called scrums. At the end of the sprint, the team will get together and have what is called a sprint review. In the sprint review, developers will demonstrate the work that they did, and they have to prove the work they did works in order to receive the points for the task. After the sprint review is complete, the whole process starts over and the team begins another sprint cycle. This happens over and over again until they reach the product release. And in the case of Star Citizen, this translates to, say, 3.3.0 or 3.3.1, for example. Of course, the PTU is in the mix there before the actual public release. Hope this helps a little. I'd be interested in hearing if this was helpful. Comment below, and thanks for watching.